David? What is he doing? Look like the bloody Winter Soldier.
Never too late to change your life. The story's not over. The ending is mine. Whatever it takes.
How are we gonna do this? Like, you read
Well, I've
the
been setting
question.
up for the last like 47 minutes, you know, waiting for your 6-minute pack schedule. Oh, sweet. We're in? Right, we're on. Microphone's in. We'll check that, just be a pain in the dick.
Manual audio. It's all good.
Manual audio. So like carrying the words to the camera. Or just this. What's up, guys? Lex and
David.
so we're going to be smashing it out. We did a
Q&A post.
We did a Q&A post on both our Instagrams. We're literally going to finger of doom, scroll, stop randomly, answer the question. Question will appear down here on the screen if you can't understand my accent, if you're in the US, or in England if you can't understand Mr. David Lade, then the question will be there, so that'll pop up.
I just lost my top of the page. I like click something. I'm reloading. These glitchy phones.
Oh,
at the top.
you just jinxed me as well? I think I just did the same thing.
One eternity later.
I'm going to start with answering the very last question on mine.
Alright, then I'll do the very first on mine.
Well, the last post in mine is someone telling someone else how much of a douche they are for not reading the post properly. So we'll go one up from that. And that is, what did you want to be when you were a child?
I wanted to be in the NHL. I wanted to be a professional hockey player.
Good dream, good dream.
Yeah.
If you don't know, David did play ice hockey.
Yeah, all the way from 2nd grade to freshman year of high school, which is 9th grade. So yeah, ice hockey player.
I did not play ice hockey. I did that thing where you hold onto the side of the ice rink and like wobble around and eventually get enough to just be able to go really fast in a straight line and do the odd stop and be like,
Solid
in
accomplishment.
the UK, I'm cool now. Okay. I think I wanted to be a vet or a lawyer. One of the two. So yeah.
Vet or a lawyer?
A veterinarian or a lawyer. So yeah, good versus evil on that one, I think. So yeah, then went and did a biology degree. Yeah, well done, Lex, following your dreams.
If you weren't a powerlifter and a YouTuber, what would you be? Or what would you want to be? Can't really answer what would I want to be because powerlifting and YouTube and stuff, that's all like changed where I am. Like changed my like with the things that I wanted to, but like I said, I'd probably be pursuing hockey a lot more. Probably that. Like if you weren't a powerlifter specifically.
If I wasn't a specific world-class powerlifter, I would definitely want to be like a mediocre bodybuilder.
Solid.
I'd probably do property development. I used to do property development. I quite enjoyed that.
Really?
Because that's like project, do it, sell it, move on.
Huh.
It's fresh, it's interesting. Right, finger of doom.
Alright, I'll tell you when to stop. There you go all the way. Okay, go. Stop.
The best way to go about a lean bulk without putting on too much body fat? Good a question. Number 1, set a realistic timescale. 12 weeks is not a timescale for a bulk. I don't care who you've been watching or who you've been reading. Nobody's bulking in 12 weeks. All they're doing is filling out. And then if they've been in a shred phase prior to that, all they're going to do is drop right back into that shred phase. Shred phase. And that's why you'll see like people go on a really quick bulk and then get shredded super fast. That's not actually what's happening. They've not really been into a gaining phase properly. All they've done is brought the body back up through to maintenance into like more of a recovery period, and then it will snap straight back into that deficit really, really quickly. So it's like a false shred, so don't fall for those ones. It's to set yourself 12 months, not 12 weeks. Monitor your weight averagely per day, take the average over 7 days, and only up your food after say a 10-day plateau, and that way you'll really avoid it. Also, you don't just rely on the scales, look in the mirror as well. If you're softening off too much that you don't like it, keep your food up, but then put in more activity. That's how I go about it.
Sounds about right.
You're on like a perma bulk still, aren't you really?
Perma bulk, an attempt to perma bulk.
Stop.
Can you get big if you don't bulk? I'm skinny, I can't eat, I want to get big. Well, the thing is, like, no matter how much you train, no matter how hard you train, if you're not in a caloric surplus, like, you're simply not going to get the size or strength, you're just not going to get bigger. So if you want to get big and you're not going to eat, like, it's just no way around it. You have to find the calorically dense foods or just ways to diet and eat a lot of food that work for you personally. But yeah, there's no way around not eating food, period.
That's like saying, I really want to drive a car, but I don't want to put any petrol in it. Don't want to put fuel in it. Yeah, you got to eat. And don't say you can't eat, because everybody can eat. Just build a better routine during the day.
Yeah.
What's that? How can you maintain a lean body in a realistic and healthy way? And that is from Aofi Kerry, so a female asking that one. Well, as it's a girl, first things first, girls as a rule, okay, you don't have testosterone levels of a man. So staying like lean and looking muscular, it's going to be a lot more difficult because you have lower testosterone levels. So you're going to look a little softer most of the time. There's some girls who don't, some girls just, there's always going to be a variable in there where, there's some people that don't.
Genetic outlook.
They have a better genetic kind of setting for that, but that's just tough, okay? On an average, girls are going to look a little bit softer, but to maintain a lean, healthy body mass is to make sure that 1, you're monitoring your food, 2, you know where your maintenance level sits at, and 3, have a good macro balance that you keep consistent. And then judging by the mirror and the scale, work from there. So if you start to soften off, try and keep the food up, like I said, same with the gain, and just up your activity level to a point where, again, you feel like you're looking the way you want to look. And 2, try and keep cardio in all year round, because the fitter you are, the healthier you are, and the better of a machine you are. So you'll deal with kind of anomalies a lot better if your body's fitter than if it's not. Applies both to men and women. Obviously, guys, you've got high testosterone levels naturally, so it's a little bit easier for you to look kind of like harder and leaner all year round. But you're going to have points where you soften off and fade away, and you have to kind of bring your body up into a surplus for a good few days if that starts to happen, because it's usually a sign that you're a little bit overworked or underfed.
How do you gain size on long arms and legs? Like, the thing is, if you're 5'5", right, and take someone that's 5'5", take someone that's 6'5", the person that's 6'5", like, he'll gain the same amount of muscle mass as the person that's 5'5" at the same rate pretty much, but it's just going to show so much less. So basically, if you have extremely long limbs, lanky limbs like me, all it takes is just significantly more time to thicken out those arms.
But like you're saying also is to understand that different movements you're going to be worse at than guys with shorter leverage points. But that's not something to really worry about. It doesn't mean that you're not progressing. But like if you have long femurs and stuff like that, even if you're a shorter guy with longer femurs, some people you're going to be better or worse at squats.
Yeah. So pretty much like assuming that you're doing everything right, you're figuring out exercises that work for your body, you're doing all the exercises correctly, it's just going to take a lot more time for you. That's all it is.
I think focus on yourself, just constant progression. As long as it's moving in the right direction, you're moving in the right direction. I'm going to scroll and where it finishes. I'm going to do that one. Middle one of this. How can I grow my legs fast and keep up the great work, guys? Well, cheers, and that's Julian Luna _11. There's no such thing as fast. There's no quick shortcut. There's no super secret that nobody's telling you. All body parts are the same. They all require the same kind of stimulation, work, and time, but make sure you're putting your time into the most efficient ways. So compound movements like squat, David's proof of that one. He's got a really nice squat, really good form, and he's got detailed legs from like top to bottom. Again, doing squats and things as well is going to bring in both hammies and quads at the same time, plus glutes. That's what a compound movement is, where it integrates more than one muscle. So don't concentrate purely on isolation. That would be a good way.
Yeah, so like use a big compound for overall leg growth, and whatever's lacking from that, maybe throw in some accessories or isolation work to that. But yeah, mainly focus on the compounds and progressively overloading on them.
Boom. That's just going to go to the one, That was all middle one. Yucky.
Yucky. I'm bigger than you. Get me sponsored.
I call that false. Don't buy mirrors that are like concave that give you a false perspective of life. This guy, he puts some effort into that question. So.
I have a pretty strong chest and back, but my arms are lacking and I feel like it's holding me back. When I bench, it's not my chest that stops me from my last rep, it's my arms. Should I spend a few weeks training arms 3 times a week? Well, the thing is, even if you're on like a super balanced program, there's just muscle groups that for you personally are going to grow so much faster than others, because that's pretty much genetics. Everyone's different. So if you're benching and you pretty much just feel it, wait, they said they feel it in their chest?
He said it's not his chest that stops him, it's his arms. I'm assuming he means triceps.
Yeah, so basically for that's how it's like for me on bench. So if you have like long arms or your triceps are weak, you can be very explosive out of the bottom. Once you get halfway up, you're pretty much going to plateau. You're going to hit a brick wall, and that's pretty much like a lagging muscle. That's your triceps burning out. So just throw in more tricep work. It'll pretty much.
I'm saying if your arms, maybe you're tucking a little tight on the bench press, dipping the elbows a little bit low, bringing your triceps in a bit too much. If it's your shoulders, make sure that you're not overextending with the shoulders, keeping them pinned back, good arch in your lower back, planting your feet, driving with your glutes, you're squeezing your glutes and driving through your heels. And most people say their arms are lacking, and then you see them train, they've got no real connection between the movement and the muscle they're trying to work, especially with arms. A lot of people tend to swing back through on biceps or drive their body weight over on triceps. So take a look at that. Maybe take a step back from the weight and look at the form. Concentrate on making sure that you're getting full range of motion and that you're maintaining the load on the arm muscles and not letting it like transition onto other stabilizing points, which your body will try and do at any given point, because your body's efficient. It doesn't want to lift in isolation. So remember that. You've always got to be fighting your body on that one. Kieran O'Brien 101. I'm 62 kilos, which is 136 pounds. I've been doing weights for 5 or 6 months, okay. Making strength gains and I'm adding weight on, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of physical gains. I've also thought about going into calisthenics as I'm interested in the idea of full body control. Any tips would be appreciated. Well, 5 or 6 months is like nothing, like no time whatsoever. Again, realistic timelines. When you first start, you're going to get some nice like newbie gains that you see, like where you fill out, where your muscles aren't used to being pumped, and get that kind of full look just from the glycogen retention. And people kind of mistake that for muscle gain, immediate kind of muscle gain and stuff, and expect that kind of pump to carry on in like a linear fashion. That's just not the case. 5 or 6 months, I mean, at that point, you've probably only just got into stabilizing your weighted movements 3-4 months in.
Yeah.
So you're probably only really actually 2 months into developing actual muscle growth at this stage, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hang in there, keep doing what you're doing, make sure your form's good, make sure your technique's good from the get-go, make sure your diet is consistent so that you have control, so you can, make increase or decrease calories relatively easily in a knowledgeable fashion. And just keep going.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you'll gain strength like relatively like super quickly. Like your first day in the gym, you'll bench 135 for 1, next day for 3. Like you're gonna blow up in strength quickly when you first start, but the muscle gain actually takes like a little bit longer. But like anyway, just like 5-6 months, that's no time at all. So you just got to give it more time.
And the reason the strength gains come so quickly is because when you're lifting on compound movements, especially, your stabilizer muscles are weak when you start, and they're the muscles that control the finer movements. Like when you have those wobbles when you start, that's the weakness in the stabilizers. Once they catch up, your strength will seemingly go up very quickly, and it's just because your lifts become more efficient, so you're able to lift more. That's why you're getting that.
Yeah. Switch the battery.
Switch the battery.
He's blinking.
Blink, blink. That one. Yeah.
There's energy. Yeah. If you were stranded on a deserted island and you could have 3 people with you, who would they be? I would have that guy from that TV show, what's it called, like Surviving the Wild or whatever.
Oh, Bear Grylls?
Yeah, Bear Grylls.
Yeah, you got Bear with you, good call.
I'd have him. I'd need a female, obviously, so let's see, who would I bring for that? Huh.
Female. We're only allowed one female.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
I'd have a carpenter so I could build a fucking boat, get off the island.
Yeah, bring a few engineers with me.
And then, so we got Bear Grylls, some kind of carpenter.
Yeah, bring Comcast with me.
Do they have to be real? Real
No.
people?
No.
No, I'd have Tyrion Lannister. Because he'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, he'd be irritating.
Sick.
I have
Cool.
Daenerys with her dragon. No, I have all 3 of Daenerys' dragons. I won't be on that island too long. I'll be good.
Yeah, I got my carpenter. I'll be slower, but I'll be gone in the end.
See you there.
Yeah. So that's the end of part 1 on my channel. For the rest of this Q&A, go over to David's channel. Link will be in the description below. Click it and follow on to part 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll be back with more.
Very soon.
I've been